In this video, we're gonna explore blueprints in Unreal Engine 5. So I'm using here the ArcViz scene that I have downloaded previously, and I've changed this a little bit, creating a new level. So I'm going to open up a customized level based on this scene that you find in the marketplace. And you can see here that I have set some environment lighting, direct light in the exterior, everything we talked about in the other videos of the course. So the first thing about blueprints. So blueprints are the way you can create not only animation in Unreal Engine, but also interaction. So you can actually interact with the scene, and you can, well, in this particular scene here, if I press play, you will notice that the animation of the sun goes automatically. So I've created that animation, but that animation, it's bound to an action. Or I can, for example, turn on and off lights, or perhaps I can, let's say, interact with doors. So if I have a door here, I can open it and close it. Now make sure that the pivot is in the correct position. So I can do a lot of things with blueprints. Well, actually, I can create an entire video game. So we're gonna just do an introduction here just to complete the course in Unreal Engine. But bear in mind that there are a lot of ways you can use blueprints. So I'm just gonna show you first how I created the automatic sun movement or sun exposure. So I don't need to create an animation here. I have it inside my simulation. So if you go up here, this is the button for animation. This one here is for blueprints. So I'm gonna open the level blueprints. Now each level is gonna have its own blueprint, and here you can see I started to play some of these. Or you can also create, for example, blueprints based on a particular object. So I can create a blueprint for a chair. So I will go here, and instead of going to open blueprints, I can convert the selection to blueprint class and select, for example, these options here. Let's select this one here. Okay, so I already have the chair there, and this is gonna be my starting point to create a blueprint based on this object. And I will go here to event graph, and usually you will find these three ready for you to use. Now I'm just gonna expand this a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. And there you go. So this is how a blueprint editor is represented here in Unreal Engine. And the first three nodes, this is similar to materials and similar to particles. So you always have like nodes, and then you need to click and link something to that initial node. So these first three are the most used probably. So this one here is the event begin play. So this means when you press play here in the simulation, run whatever it's inside here. So it could be a sound. So if I extend this and types, for example, sound, or sorry, play sound, it could be a sound. So you can play a sound in the moment that you start your level, which could be like music or things like that. Or you can bind a sound to another actor. So you can use, for example, a trigger. We're gonna see you can use trigger to have an action and to have a reaction. So it's all a game of defining which event is gonna cause what other event. So I'm just gonna show you later how you can set up these different types. Event tick means that each single moment of the simulation is going to recall this action. So it could be like something that happens all of the time. So right here on the left side, we have, well, first of all, you have compile. So when you finish to create your blueprints, and this is all visual scripting actually. So we are basically programming, but not using straight programming language. We are using something more understandable, something visible. So this is why it's called visual scripting. So you can add from here, you can see objects inside this, let's say, blueprint actor. There you go. So it's similar to what you do in the standard Unreal editor. Then you can add functions. So you can add a new function, you can add variables, and all this stuff here is like programming stuff. So you need to be at least passionate about programming, otherwise this will be really boring. It's not like level design or sculpting or modeling. So this is why I just dedicated the last video to this. Okay, so, or you can right click and here recall whatever you want. So you can have context sensitive, so it's gonna kind of help you out to decide what you want to do. Now, just to show you the level blueprint where I set up the sunrise animation. So first of all, you need to have the animation, and we talked about this in the other video. So we can just have a quick look now how to do it. And then you need to create. It's really simple. This is a really simple blueprint. Now you can also click and drag here and right click, and you can create comment from selection. So you can call this whatever. Okay. And let's say that you want to work with a particular object in your scene. So you can see here I have this light. So if I want to insert this light here, I can select it first, or let's say this one here. You can select it and then right click, and you can see there is already here create reference to point light 8. So this is gonna help you when you select things in your scene, in your simulation. Now you can also create triggers which are gonna cause some events. So if you go to the basic here, you will find trigger box or trigger sphere. So if you place here a trigger, this is gonna help you to create some action. So if you step on the trigger, and that action is called on action begin overlap, and you can see here I've already created a trigger box here. Well, let's see where the other went. It went there outside, so I'm gonna bring it inside just to show you. So I can say, oh, when you step on this sphere, which is gonna be my trigger, turn on the light or make something happen, whatever it is. There you go. Now you can also increase here the radius so that I can touch this earlier. So it's all a matter of how you set up something that will happen and something that will be a reaction to that event. So I'm just gonna delete everything here, just leave the sunrise. Now you can see that here it says on event begin play. So when I press play and play my simulation, play, this is the action that we want, and we can call that by right clicking and say play, and you will find a lot of play actually. So again, you can help yourself by using, for example, this one here, which is the reference to a particular actor. And to do that, you can find the actor here. For example, this is the animation. Now we already talked about animation, so I'm not gonna go and talk about animation into this video. So just remember that you can animate anything, and when you animate anything, it's gonna create here an icon. So you can click and drag that icon inside here just by